When you talk about 3D printing, using sand probably isn't the first thing that pops into your mind. It's a material Humtown Products in Leetonia has actually used for decades, but now with this new technology, it's taking the company to new heights.
They did welding in here.
The world is now Mark Lamoncha's sandbox at Humtown Products in Leetonia. The business itself has been around since 1959. They've been making sand cores since 1977, and 4 years ago started transitioning to 3D printing.
This is really the way that core making should have always been done.
The downside is it wasn't cheap, so we couldn't make that leap all at once.
In our traditional method, it's probably, it could be between 2 and 3 cents a cubic inch. This started out at 17 cents in the 3D sand printing, so I think it's easy to see why it couldn't grow very fast.
But once the cost came down, Humtown was all in. The advantages of creating layer by layer made those cores stronger and more reliable, which comes in handy when you're creating something like a car engine, products with intricate pieces that need to be exactly right.
When you inject that sand into the metal dies, they're continuously, every cycle, wearing out. Once this part is validated to be right, it's always right, forever right. And there's no tooling to store, there's no tooling to wear out, and especially in safety critical parts, it's 100% consistent.
Humtown now has 3 3D printers inside the shop, not only providing a new way to produce what they already were making, but also opening new doors to creations that simply weren't possible before.
This one we were making in tooling over in our plant in Columbiana, and 98 out of 100 of them broke. We talk about cross-sectional strength. So you can see in a lot of these areas it can be very thin. So we reverse engineered, scanned, and brought this down to the 3D printing process, and on the first try we got 87 out of 100 that came out good.
And not only have these machines changed the process itself, but they very much expanded the possibilities for this local business.
Probably over the last 2 years, almost 3, we've signed probably over 200 NDAs with some of the most global, international opportunities. We never exported before. We're exporting all the time now.
Which shows the demand for these types of products all over the world. From industrial uses to art, it's changed the course of one business that's now charting its own course by staying ahead of the curve.
And Lamoncha says 3D metal printing is likely next on his to-do list, but again, much like we saw with the sand, it's a case of waiting for the price and the time involved, frankly, to come down in order to make it work. Krista?